Merry Christmas Eve, everyone. I know you're all probably out there wrapping last-minute presents.
Yeah.
Halito Peace. This is the producer and creator of the Deep Dive podcast, Rafi, and I'm very excited to be here. Let's get right into it.
But we're going to do something a little different today.
Okay.
So instead of, putting out cookies for Santa,
Right.
we're going to do a deep dive into Christmas.
All right.
Specifically, we're going to talk about December 25th.
Okay.
Why December 25th?
Interesting.
We've got a stack of sources here.
Okay.
One of them is The Christ Conspiracy, the greatest story ever sold.
Oh, wow.
And let me tell you,
Yeah.
what we found is pretty mind-blowing.
I can't wait.
So what's really fascinating is that December 25th
Yeah.
is not just some random date on the calendar.
It's true.
It's really deeply rooted in ancient traditions
Right?
and astronomical observations.
Uh-huh.
So you're saying there's more to December 25th than meets the eye.
Absolutely.
Like, what exactly were our ancestors observing?
Well, think about the winter solstice
Okay.
in the northern hemisphere.
Right.
It's the shortest day of the year, right? And it marks the point where the sun seems to stand still in its southward journey.
Okay.
And for ancient cultures who relied entirely on the sun,
Yeah, for life and warmth.
yeah.
This was a huge event.
I can imagine.
As the days grew shorter and colder,
Yeah.
it must have felt like the sun was like disappearing altogether.
Oh, were they afraid?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Many cultures saw it as like this time of great anxiety.
Really?
They viewed the solstice as the sun's kind of symbolic death.
Interesting.
So for 3 days,
Yeah.
from December 22nd to the 24th,
Okay.
the sun's path appears to pause.
Huh.
And then on the 25th,
Yeah.
something remarkable happens.
What happens? Does the sun, make a comeback?
That's exactly it.
Wow.
On December 25th, the sun begins its northward journey again,
Wow.
and the days slowly start to get longer.
So it's like the sun is reborn.
Yes,
Huh.
a victory of light over darkness.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you can see why this would have been a major celebration.
Yeah, definitely.
A time of immense hope and relief.
So December 25th was already packed with meaning
Totally.
long before Christmas came along.
Exactly.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
But how did this ancient sun celebration
Right.
become associated with the birth of Jesus?
Well, that's where things get really, really interesting.
Okay.
This is where we delve into the world of astrotheology.
Astrotheology.
The idea that many ancient religions,
Okay.
including early Christianity,
Right.
incorporated astronomical events and symbolism into their beliefs.
So you're saying the Bible might have hidden astronomical references.
Precisely.
Right.
Early Christians were deeply connected to the natural world,
Uh-huh.
and they saw God's hand in the movements of the sun and the moon and the stars.
That's interesting.
Like, take, for instance, the story of the virgin birth.
Okay.
Around the time of the winter solstice,
Yeah.
the constellation Virgo,
Right.
the Virgin,
Uh-huh.
is prominent in the night sky.
Right.
And this might have contributed to the imagery of the Virgin Mary giving birth to the sun.
Oh, wow.
Or symbolically, the
Yeah.
Son of God.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Are we suggesting that the story of the Virgin Mary might be linked to the stars?
It's a theory.
That's incredible. I always thought those stories were purely symbolic.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it reminds us that the night sky wasn't just a pretty backdrop
Right.
to our ancestors. It was a source of profound meaning and guidance.
That's amazing.
They observed its patterns and cycles,
Yeah.
and those observations found their way into their stories and beliefs.
This is completely changing my perspective on the Bible.
Yeah.
I feel like a whole new layer of understanding has been unlocked.
For sure.
And are there even more astronomical connections
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
woven into the biblical narrative?
Wow, okay, you've got my attention.
All right.
What's the astronomical link?
Let's take the Star of Bethlehem,
Okay.
guiding the three kings, for example.
Well, around the winter solstice,
Yeah.
serious? The brightest star in the sky
Uh-huh.
rises in the east.
Okay.
And not too far away,
Yeah.
you'll find the three stars of Orion's belt,
Right.
often referred to as the Three Kings.
Okay.
It's not hard to imagine how these celestial landmarks
Yeah.
might have been woven into the story
Right.
of the Star of Bethlehem and the Magi following it to find the newborn king.
So instead of just being like a magical element of the story,
Right.
the star was something people could actually see
Exactly.
and follow in the sky.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But would people back then have made those connections?
It's
Would they have understood these astronomical references?
absolutely. Remember,
Yeah.
astronomy and religion were practically inseparable in ancient cultures.
Right.
The sky was their calendar,
Okay.
their clock,
Uh-huh.
and a source of deep spiritual significance.
So weaving those celestial events into their narratives
Totally.
would have been a natural way to connect
Yeah.
their earthly experiences with their beliefs about the divine.
Exactly.
Wow, you've given me so much to think about. It's like the Christmas story
I know, right?
has suddenly come alive
Uh-huh.
with a whole new dimension of meaning.
Yeah.
It's no longer just about presents and carols.
Right.
It's connected to something much bigger
Yes.
and older than I ever imagined.
It's amazing.
This is blowing my mind.
Yeah.
It seems like there's so much more to discover about Christmas and its origins.
Absolutely.
This deep dive is getting deeper by the minute.
I know.
I'm eager to hear more.
Okay.
So,
Well, in part 2 of our deep dive,
okay.
we'll explore how those ancient astronomical observations and beliefs
Right.
continue to influence the development of Christmas traditions
Okay.
as Christianity spread.
Wow, this is exciting. I can't wait to uncover more of these hidden connections.
Me too.
Don't go anywhere.
Stay tuned.
We'll be right back with part 2
Yes.
of our exploration into the true meaning of Christmas.
Absolutely. So as we were saying, those early astronomical observations
Yeah.
and beliefs surrounding the winter solstice,
Uh-huh.
those didn't just disappear with the rise of Christianity.
So you're saying they continue to influence like the development of Christmas traditions.
Exactly. As Christianity spread, it often absorbed and adapted
Okay.
existing pagan festivals and customs
Oh, wow.
and blended them with its own beliefs and practices.
So it's kind of like a cultural exchange.
Yeah, you could say that.
Early Christians weren't necessarily trying to like
Right.
completely erase existing traditions.
It was a much more organic process than that.
Right.
Remember, Christianity was spreading into a world where
Oh, yeah.
people already had their own deeply ingrained ways of celebrating the winter solstice and the rebirth of the sun.
That makes sense. I mean,
Oh.
trying to force people to completely abandon
Yeah.
their traditions probably wouldn't have gone over very well.
Exactly. So rather than imposing a completely new set of beliefs and practices, early Christians often incorporated elements from those existing traditions
Uh-huh.
into their own celebrations.
That's really interesting.
Right.
Are there like specific examples
Well, yeah, tons.
of this kind of cultural blending in Christmas traditions?
Absolutely. Think about some of the most iconic symbols of Christmas.
Okay.
The evergreen tree,
Right.
the exchanging of gifts,
Like,
even the feasting and merrymaking.
yeah.
These weren't originally Christian traditions.
Wait, are you telling me that Christmas trees weren't always
Nope.
part of the Christian celebration of Christmas?
Not at all. Evergreen trees held deep symbolic meaning for ancient cultures long before Christianity.
Oh,
They represented life and enduring strength in the face of winter's darkness.
interesting.
The Romans, for example, decorated their homes with evergreen boughs during their winter festival of Saturnalia.
So the tradition of bringing a tree into our homes
Right.
and decorating it actually predates Christianity.
Right.
That's fascinating. And what about gift giving?
Yeah.
Was that also borrowed from earlier traditions?
Yes. The exchange of gifts was a common feature
Wow.
of many pagan winter solstice celebrations.
Okay.
It was seen as a way to symbolize the generosity of the earth
Huh.
and to ensure good luck in the coming year.
It's amazing to think that something as familiar
I know, right?
as placing presents under a Christmas tree has roots in these ancient practices.
It's true.
It makes you realize how deeply connected we are to the past
Yeah.
and to the cycles of nature that our ancestors celebrated.
It's a powerful reminder, isn't it?
Yeah.
Christmas, as we know it, is this beautiful tapestry woven from threads of different cultures and beliefs,
Wow.
all converging on this special time of year.
This is truly eye-opening. So we've got this ancient celebration
Right.
of the winter solstice,
Yeah.
the sun's rebirth,
Right.
and then early Christians come along
Right.
and start incorporating these existing traditions into their own celebrations of the birth of Jesus.
It's fascinating.
But how did Christianity eventually become
Yeah, good question.
so dominant, even overshadowing those earlier traditions?
That's an important question, and
Yeah.
it kind of takes us into the realm of history
Oh.
and the rise of Christianity within the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
It was a complex process that unfolded over centuries,
Right.
involving political maneuvering,
Oh, wow.
cultural adaptations,
Yeah.
and a touch of good fortune.
It sounds like we're about to embark on another fascinating journey.
We are.
I'm ready to dive in. So welcome back to our exploration of Christmas.
Glad to be back.
You know, it's amazing to think that something as seemingly simple as celebrating Christmas
I know, right?
on December 25th has such deep roots in ancient astronomy and cultural traditions.
It really does highlight how interconnected we are with the past.
And as we were just discussing, the story of Christmas doesn't end with those early astronomical connections and the blending of pagan and Christian traditions.
Exactly. To understand how Christmas became what it is today, we need to look at the rise of Christianity itself.
Okay, you mentioned the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
What role did they play in all of this?
Well, as Christianity began to spread,
Right.
it eventually caught the attention of the Roman authorities.
Yeah.
At first, it was seen as a threat to the established order.
A threat.
They saw it as a subversive sect that challenged Roman religious and political power.
So early Christians were actually persecuted by the Romans.
That's right.
That seems ironic considering how dominant Christianity eventually became within the Roman Empire.
It's a fascinating twist of history, isn't it?
Yeah.
Early Christians were often subjected to harsh treatment
Wow.
and even execution for their beliefs.
But despite the persecution, Christianity continued to grow.
It did, yeah.
Wow. What was it about Christianity that appealed to people even in the face of danger?
Well, that's a complex question.
Yeah.
But some historians suggest that Christianity's message of hope, compassion, and salvation resonated with people who were disillusioned with the existing social and religious structures.
So Christianity offered something new and different.
Right.
Something that spoke to people's hearts and minds in a way that the old Roman religion didn't.
Exactly. And as Christianity gained more followers, it gradually became more difficult for the Roman authorities to ignore.
Okay, so how did Christianity go from being a persecuted sect to becoming the dominant religion of the Roman Empire?
It was a big shift.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty dramatic shift.
And a pivotal moment in that shift
Okay.
came in the 4th century CE
Right.
with the conversion of Emperor Constantine to Christianity.
Wait, hold on a minute. One emperor converts,
Yeah.
and that's enough to change the entire religious landscape of the empire.
Constantine's conversion was a game changer.
Wow.
He granted Christianity legal status and imperial support.
So that meant that Christians were no longer persecuted.
That's right. In
That's
fact,
sweet.
Christianity became the favored religion of the empire.
I guess having the backing of the most powerful empire in the world would definitely help spread your message.
It certainly didn't hurt. With Constantine's support,
Yeah.
churches were built,
Yeah?
Christian holidays were officially recognized,
Okay.
and Christianity was woven into the fabric of Roman society.
So December 25th, a date already steeped in ancient tradition and astronomical significance, became the official celebration of Christmas under Constantine's rule.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
And as Christianity spread throughout the empire and beyond,
Right.
it continued to evolve and adapt,
Yeah.
incorporating local customs and beliefs, just as we discussed earlier.
This has been an incredible journey. Who knew there was so much history and symbolism packed into the celebration of Christmas? We've gone from ancient sun worship to the rise of Christianity in the Roman Empire.
And it all comes back to December 25th,
That's right.
a date that reflects humanity's age-old fascination
Yeah.
with the cycles of nature,
Uh-huh.
the triumph of light over darkness,
Yep.
and the enduring search for meaning and hope.
It makes you look at those twinkling Christmas lights and decorated trees in a whole new light, doesn't it?
It really does.
It's not just about presents and Santa Claus.
Exactly.
It's a celebration that connects us to the cosmos, to our ancestors, and to each other.
Beautifully said. As we gather with loved ones this Christmas,
Yeah.
it's worth reflecting on the rich tapestry of history, culture, and belief
Right.
that has shaped this special holiday.
And that concludes another episode on the Deep Dive Podcast. I am your producer, Rafi. Thank you for joining me and my two hosts. If you're interested in getting this book in PDF format, go to the link in the description box below. Now, with that being said, I look forward to reading those comments from you guys.